Ka tuku mihi mātou a Bowls New Zealand Aotearoa kia koutou katoa kua tai, mai ki tēnei kaupapa hui huinga. Welcome to the Bowls New Zealand Aotearoa broadcast of the 2024 World Champion of Champions Singles. We are here, day 3, game 2. My name is Alex Reid. I'm joined in commentary by John Macbeth. And John, I can see here that this game we are covering is already underway. Can you talk us through who we're going to see?
Well, we've got a man jogging towards us representing Singapore. His name is Edmund Lin, and he's... well, we'll talk a bit more about him because he has quite an influential position in Singapore bowls. And his record, and he's not surprised with it, he said, I'm not the greatest of players, but I am a national champion. So he's played 5 and lost all 5. He's up against, from Wales, Ross Owen, of course the Welsh national champion, who's been to some major events, a couple of Commonwealth Games and World Championships, so he has got a lot of experience behind him, and he has a record of 3 wins and 2 losses from his 5.
A great start there from Ross with his 3rd shot. See, the Northern Hemisphere players are very ordinarily quite demonstrative, aren't they, on the green, John?
Yeah, I had a good chat to Ross just beforehand, and I said, are you finding it okay? Oh, I left a 10-second green to get here, but he's spent a bit of time practicing beforehand. I've been here a few days, he and his partner Sarah, so they've been here a while and just got to grips with it, as we see a bit of aggression coming in now from the Singaporean, and flicks out the jack and gets an unfortunate result out of that, but showing a willingness to have a go. Brendan Walton is the marker for this match.
So holding 1. Looking for a bonus shot to make it 2 here. Ross Owen from Wales. Goodness.
That's a big tuck the back knee under around the back of your front leg.
Very interesting delivery style.
Yes, it's one that was coached for a long time, wasn't it? Here we go, nice result. No matter what your delivery looks like, that's the end product, and that's a 2 to start for Ross Owen of Wales. We know we've got quite a few viewers to the coverage from Wales, and Ross himself comes from Mountain Ash, a place just a few kilometres out of Cardiff. And I said, because you look at him there and you'd think, oh, he looks about 30 maybe. I said, my question to him was, how long have you been playing bowls, Ross? And he said 25 years. And I thought, oh, I've got his age wrong then. But no, he's been playing 25 years and he's 30.
How was he able to get them up the green at the age of 5?
Well, I suppose it's that playing that winter program indoors too. But yeah, obviously he just fell in love with the sport and has continued on. He's won a couple of indoor national titles and the outdoor title, of course. 2 Commonwealth Games, the World Championships in 2016 and 2023. So well performed.
Nice bowl.
That's his partner sitting down the end there under the shelter.
Disappointed with that one with his first bowl, Edmund. And Ross, let's watch this delivery. It's very unconventional. Even the grip, John, is quite unusual.
And then the almost back knee dislocation. But it's where it finishes up.
Oh, I mean, there's in the world of bowls, there's a number of different deliveries, and what I'm sure we'll notice about Ross as the game goes on is that it's a unconventional delivery that looks the same every time he uses it, which is really the key point, isn't it, John? As long as you are able to repeat what you do, it doesn't really matter how it looks.
It's an important event too for Edmund Lin, who gets a nice second bowl in, because he's actually the vice president of Bowls Singapore. He's a manager of their high performance squad.
Oh, cool.
He was the main organizer of the recent world event in Singapore. So Bowls is huge. He's been playing over 20 years. He's only 41, so he picked it up at quite a young age as well.
It's a really good bowl there from Ross Owen. Wanting to sit down that bowl. You can see it just leaning towards the bar side a little. Easy to see the difference in these bowl colours, John.
Yeah.
Outside edge of that could be calamitous. And may have been. Yeah, Brendan indicating there. That's a 3. So Edmund, unfortunately, has actually snicked in Ross's bowl to go from 2 down to 3 down.
He still has an opportunity, but with that bowl of his that has just passed the jack, and this man will know it, maybe. Well, certainly know it, but Ross Owen might just say, I'll draw another one and see what he can do.
That's exactly what he's saying. Oh, no, he's going around the back. I take it.
Yeah.
I rescind my statement.
Down to the 2 metre or beyond.
Yeah, handy bowl there. So a long walk back for Edmund.
I know it's the same length as for anyone else.
Thanks, John.
I know what you mean. Yeah, because he's been down the head there, looked at it, sees he's 3 down. Unfortunately, flicking a bowl in for 3. But there's an opportunity, isn't there, if he plays that forehand on the perfect line to upset the 2 closest to the jack and maybe move the jack back to himself. That's a more productive line for him. Is it going to duck? Just the weight, wasn't it, really, I suppose? No, weight wasn't bad.
It was a lovely effort.
Yeah.
Ultimately is going to be a 3 though on this end, so Ross Owen galloping out of the starting blocks leads now by 5 shots to 0 after 2 ends of the 7-end set.
Might well be Edmund's wife down the far end, on the left-hand side of that seat, to the left of the main doors. They've got their 8-year-old son with them too, and I can't see him in the background. He's inside quite a bit, but Sian, Edmund's wife, is out there watching, and I was interested. I said, this, because I've seen the young boy. He doesn't look 8 years of age. He's quite a young looking boy, and I said, what's he up to? Does he enjoy watching? He said he plays. He was in my fours team for the Nationals.
Oh, how good.
He said, I did spend most of my time picking the balls up out of the ditch, but he's keen. So I suppose what we should do is remember that name. Ji Lin, and in a few years' time we'll see him representing Singapore.
Oh, so many of these players, when you read their bios or talk to them, have started very young. Ross Owen, you said earlier, it's 5, and that's a lovely bowl there from Ross. Good shot.
Well, go back to his reaction to that bowl. Wasn't very impressed with it at all.
Maybe that's what he looks like when he's happy with the bowl. Edmund staying on the forehand. Which is an interesting decision, really, because it's hard to get the shot on the forehand, John.
Yeah.
It's the yellow bowl of Ross's is in the way somewhat. Maybe just looking to build it and then switch to the backhand eventually.
Yeah, very, very slight.
Ross on the backhand.
Third bowl, so he can follow it down. I think he'd be quite happy with where this one finishes too.
Oh, this is very impressive stuff here from the Welshman. He's left to go, oh, well, maybe not as left as big a gap as he would have liked to there. It will encourage Edmund to hit.
Yes, it's just behind.
Played one pretty accurate run shot previously, so he might just go again, or will he not? No. Quite a few of the players said it's been good today because the wind hasn't been evident. And I only say that because I can hear that wind in the microphone, but it's not that telling out there at all.
It's a handy bowl back there for Edmund. You can see there the flag barely flapping in the breeze. And Ross now holding a good 2. Looking to play the backhand again. Not sure about his weight here.
I think he's just going to fatten it up a bit.
Well, he's holding 3. I think Edmund will be reaching right through that. It's a good target on the backhand. Yeah. He's close here, John. Look at this.
Close.
Oh, what a bowl.
Yeah.
Now the jack is in the ditch. The bowl in the ditch is a toucher. And that yellow bowl there may be the shot, I think, John. We'll see if we can get a replay after we've confirmed who scored what.
You're saying it wasn't a toucher?
Not a toucher, so
Okay.
that'll be one to
Yep.
Edmund.
Very good
Watch
shot,
this very
though.
closely. The collision bowl is the one to watch.
Yeah.
So this is the toucher, and it cannons and
Cannons
stays.
the other one out. Yeah, that's good. So a single there to Edmund Lin of Singapore. The very good shot under big pressure. He was looking at going to 8-0 down, but now it's 5-1.
Lovely bowl.
Just looking at the points table after the last round, you remember we saw that match between 2 unbeaten men, Australia and New Zealand, which was won by Australia. So Ali Schreiner has now won 5 from 5. The only other unbeaten player, I think, let's have a look through that. Oh, is only England's Lewis King. He's unbeaten. So that's the 2 men who are unbeaten. And Nunes is unbeaten from the United States, the defending champion, as is Stephanie Brandfield. So the 2 English players, she's from England, the 2 English players are unbeaten. The Indian player who we commentated on yesterday, that's Moni Saikia, she has remained unbeaten as well. And from Niue, we have Joy Peru unbeaten.
That's great for Niue, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of the smaller bowling nations. Great to have Joy been so successful thus far in the tournament.
So they've just played the 3 match much as those Nue have in their section. And she's in a section which is pretty strong too, with Ireland, Norfolk Island, with Shea Wilson there. She's dropped a game. Tonga with Millie Nathan, Canada and Wales. So it's not as if Joy's not playing against quality players. They're all quality players, of course, because they've got this far.
This one? This one?
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unbeaten players. And in that women's section, India played Australia this morning. They were both unbeaten, so India won that, beating the Australian representative. Lainey McGorman.
Edmund with good line there, just falling short. Leaves Ross on the forehand. Goodness. Reminds me a little of a bowler called Jason Greenslade, who was a Welsh representative for a number of years, for about 20 years I think, and now plays a lot on the indoor circuit, so our viewers would know him through the World Bowls Tour stuff. He has a similar delivery, more exaggerated than Ross, but I wonder if there's some crossover there in their careers, John, because I see Jason represented Wales from 2004 through to about 2015 or 16. I wonder if they played in similar circles, because the delivery of Ross Owens is certainly reminiscent of that. They cup the bowl. It's a poor shot from Edmund. He'll be disappointed.
Really disappointed, yeah. And he knows what we'll be saying too, because he does do commentary in Singapore.
Does he?
Bowls.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
yeah. So he not only organises everything, but
Does all
plays,
of the things.
but, yeah, talks as well.
All we have to do is talk, John.
All I have to do is talk. You have to do everything else.
So Ross on the forehand now. Looks on the tight side to there, but his bowls may hold up. No.
So do we think Ross has got the shot there, being...
Yes, yeah, I think he is holding one.
Yeah. He picks up the jack to confirm that.
As Brendan Moulton makes his way down. 6-1 the score. We're on end 5.
This is a man who's streaked out to an early lead in this. The players look to make up the top 2 in their section to ensure they get through to the next stage.
Great line. Both hands seem as though they play quite nicely, John. We commentated the first game on the broadcast this morning between Lee Schreiner and Aidan Takaroa. Didn't notice a preferred hand, and haven't noticed one here either. And
read the line very well there. We saw it actually in that game between Schreiner and Takaroa. There were a couple of occasions where, playing that particular side that Edmund has, the balls just sort of hung out, which obviously indicated they'd taken the wrong line. But in general, you saw good finish on both hands. So we're seeing here, correction was required and he made it perfectly. Hardly deviated from that green.
Opting to stay on the forehand side.
He looked at the backhand, didn't he? Which appeals as quite a good option, but he'd played this one so well previously that he might just try it again. And he's made the correction nicely.
That's an exceptional
Yeah,
bowl.
very good.
Very well played.
He still might not have the shot, but it gives him an option for the next one. Oh,
It's a
okay,
measure.
closer than it looks.
Brendan's got pretty good eyes.
Yeah.
So I would say that it is very close, and Ross is going to stay on his... No, he's not switching to the forehand. I was going to say I'm surprised to see him staying on the backhand. Blame his delivery. This is very close, John. But close is all that it is. Look at that weight. Perfect weight just to sit the Singapore bowl out 2 or 3 rolls. Now do we see the backhand from Edmund Lin.
I don't think he'd be too concerned about this either.
This is going to be absolutely perfect, he said.
Oh,
Sorry, Edmund.
gee.
That's my fault. I thought it was on track, John. It looked lovely all the way, didn't it?
Yeah, all the way it did indeed.
It's actually gone.
Look at that. I mean, he's got every right to be, well, certainly frustrated. As you know, as bowlers, you can play almost a perfect shot. So he's gone from a measure for shot to being 1 down. Gee, that is an interesting, the hand in particular, cupping of the bowl, as you said. Looking to compound the pain of his opponent. So Edmund Lin might find he goes back to the other hand.
He's so successfully tucked that bowl in behind the jack. You can't even see it on either of our camera shots. It's directly behind that yellow bowl. Nope, one's just sat down. I don't even know how you get to it, John. I think
No,
the forehand probably is the call.
Yeah, I think so. So he's got his own to sit on, and you know, if he gets those lucky breaks, if the ball actually falls in rather than out.
Can't give it too much room to breathe. Needs it to turn. Beautiful weight. Needs it to keep on turning. Oh,
Gee, no luck, Edmund. I'm sorry. You've played some really good bowls there, and it's a single to the man in the definite red, as opposed to that pinkish red of Singapore. It's Ross Owen of Wales, moves ahead by 7-1.
playing well.
Playing quickly too. They're both no messing around. They're into their shots pretty quickly. Busy road that we're here, and there's a constant sound of traffic, trucks and cars and other vehicles going through. Little shopping area here as well, and quite a lot of foot traffic, which we often see people just drifting in to have a look and see what's going on. First bowl now of this, the sixth end of the first set. Had a couple of queries, although we've mentioned it a few times, I know a couple of queries about those two lines that are either side of the tee. That's just an area where we ask the players and markers not to stand in that area because it blocks the camera. The players have adhered to that very well. Just occasionally it goes out of their heads. be a tight line to what we saw in the previous game with the Australian and the New Zealander.
Yeah, it may be that Ross is playing with a slightly different set of bowls. I've
SRs, I think he's got.
I've done a Google.
Yep.
To try and figure out if Jason Greenslade, the well-known Welsh player, shared a club with Ross Owen, or they knew each other, to try and understand if that delivery's been copied. And I don't think they do.
Okay.
It's a 38-minute car drive. Ross plays from the Cynon Valley Indoor Bowls Centre, and Jason Greenslade played out of the Sully Indoor Bowls Arena. So it both looks like they're near Cardiff.
Yep.
About a 38-minute drive, 28 miles away. So they probably come up independently with those deliveries, John.
So now you Google Mountain Ash Village in Wales and tell me all about that. I'm sure that's where he said he was from, Mountain Ash. And then I said, I've been reading. I've got a whole series. A friend of mine gave me a whole series of books written by Neville Shute, and one of the most famous is A Town Like Alice. Another one was On the Beach, and one of them, the lead character goes into Wales, and I said, I'm sure that the place Mountain Ash was mentioned, and then I thought that'd be too much of a coincidence.
Well, maybe it was.
Yeah, you never know.
Who knows?
What's that weight like? Just getting it past to make sure. Well, he's sort of ensuring that he has the 2 metre mark covered in case there is some aggression from Edmund. And we've seen him very accurate in his run shots, holding 3.
Just hear that wind in the effects mic.
Picked up now. He might just get this. Oh, he needed that slight shoulder, didn't he? The wee wick there would have been perfect for him. But instead it's a 3 on the 6th end. It's 10-1.
Playing very well to have garnered this lead, Rosson, and his thoughts will already be going to the second set, because of course these games 2 sets of 7 ends, so it's one thing to win the first set, John, but quite another to win the second. We've seen it before, and I can report that Mountain Ash, which in Welsh is pronounced in a particular way,
yes, yeah,
has a population of about 11,230.
Yep.
It includes the districts, so it's a town and former community, the districts and villages of a whole lot of other words I can't pronounce, one of them being Newton, which I can.
Yeah. Famous people.
Yes. Does have famous people. Now that's all I've got for you, John.
Okay.
It's interesting. In sport and culture, Wikipedia doesn't have bowls, which is surprising.
Oh.
And they had a railway, which was apparently worth going to have a look at. Fascinating where all these different athletes have come from, isn't it, around the world?
Yeah, yeah. Inside edge. No.
Quite a loose head here, but I suppose as we've said, this end,
it's really just...
it doesn't really matter, you know. Just trying to stay...
Getting them ready to start the next one, isn't it?
Yeah, Ross will be trying to stay in the zone, and Edmund will be trying to change something, find a spark from somewhere.
There's that feeling that if he scored here, scored a 1 or 2, that's really heartening for the start of the next set. well here.
Very close. Handy effort.
Good enough for a second. I can see his wife and son sitting down there underneath the bowling club. His 8-year-old son, who was, as I said, is a very good bowler. There we go.
That is the best shirt
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Sesame
good.
Street. She is his name. He's 8 years of age.
And already a keen bowler.
Yeah.
So a name to watch out for in the future.
And Mum has played for Singapore as well. She gave it away, of course, when she not of course, but she gave it away when her son came on the scene. And she'll be getting back into it, I'm sure. That's the indication.
So the final end of this first set.
Wouldn't it be great if you heard, "Come on, Dad"? I don't think that would happen from him.
Don't like the chances.
No. Very quiet young man. Playing with intent here.
Could get very lucky off this wing bowl. Watch the collision bowl, John. Look at
Yeah.
this.
Oh, gosh. Oh, he might get this. No, not quite. There was a potential 3 there, wasn't there, if he'd just touched that jack?
Couldn't even buy a bit of luck there.
No. So
Like-
the first set certainly goes the way of Ross Owen from Wales. And Owen has already got 3 wins out of 5. Unfortunately for the Welsh female representative, that's Katie Edwards. She has lost her 3 matches to date, but has been playing really well here, just not getting the luck. So first set goes 12-0 to Ross Owen.
He's been in the national team since 2013, so 11 years, that's a long time.
Right, starting afresh.
It's Ross's favourite food, nachos. Just can't argue too much with that.
No. Easy to heat, easy to eat.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way to start the second set. Lovely bowl there from Edmund Lin, Singapore's representative.
I'll say it again, I think the set system, you know, Singapore have just been on the, or Edmund's been on the receiving end of a rampant Ross Owen, right? It's a 12-1 win in that first set, but it means nothing. There's still this opportunity to win the second set and take it to a tie break. It's only 7 ends. All it needs is, if Edmund can put 3 good ends together, absolutely we could see this game go to that 3-end tie break. And the set system, psychologically, just it seems to stop that momentum, doesn't it?
Yes, I think, you know, we compare often the shot 21 shot singles match. So 12-0 or 12-1 is a bit daunting, isn't it? But this is, as you say, a new game. Don't worry about the 12-0 score. It's 0-0 starting again. Ross Owen just trying to sit that shot or tickle the jack. Going to miss both.
Look, he's played 3 good bowls here, but Edmund holding the shot. In theory, could or should be able to sit with 2 after this one. Just
pushed it a bit wide this
a
time.
bit too much space to breathe there. And Ross with an opportunity. Be interesting to see. Edmund does have a bowl at the back, so I don't think Ross is going to take leave of his senses and just drive this. But he does have 2nd, 3rd and 4th shots, so plenty of percentage chances to score more than 1.
Jack or shot. Little nod of the head. Pretty good line too if he's going to cut the jack.
This could
He's
be...
go round it, is he?
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Those bowls are very hard to play in New Zealand. Lovely effort. And to take first blood in set 2, John, Edmund drawing for 2nd shot here.
much better line. Much better bowl.
Look at this.
There you go.
Oh, how good.
So the high performance manager of Singapore Bowls, the vice president of Bowls Singapore, starts off the 2nd set with a couple, and he'll be delighted with that.
When's the cricket, John? That must be
Started today.
slightly different sort of bowling.
I think started today.
Obviously people would watch the bowls first and foremost.
Absolutely, yeah.
So 2-0 now, and Edmund seems to be preferring this side of the rink, doesn't he? We've seen him, he played his backhand going down in this direction, the forehand coming back, so that's the ditch side.
Yeah. That's pretty much the line too. I can't go too wide on that hand. That's a good open up.
That's a very nice bowl from Ross Owen. I don't think that was a toucher, but it might have been. But I don't think it was. And based on the fact that Brendan is standing there, not moving to mark it, John, I would suggest that it just missed by a coat of paint.
Yeah, good 2nd shot.
Same bowl again from Ross Owen on the backhand.
Just trying to watch what else is different there. It's where the bowl touches the ground, doesn't it? That point of delivery, point of it leaving the hand. It just looks to be different.
Very unusual.
Yeah. Have a look at it when he next delivers. He's never going to be a dumper, that's for sure.
No. Even if we'll watch his next delivery. There's a bit to talk about. Attacking here, Edmund, bowl or jack.
Oh, not his own. Takes his own.
Consistently has just been interesting, John. The overseas players, when they attack, I think they would be wise to go quicker, to be honest. It's just your bowl will either cut across or it'll drift and drift and drift with that weight. Now watch this, the grip first, that's unusual. And then sort of, I don't even know how I would describe that, John.
Look how effective it is.
Oh, it's very effective.
And as non-coaches, here we are dissecting someone's.
Oh, I've got, yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't want to play him in a game of bowls for sure.
no.
Yeah, very like a scoopy grip, and then runs off the bowl, as we see from the Northern Hemisphere players. On those slower greens, they tend to, the body movement is what gets the weight. New Zealand and Australia, it's more about just the arm, because you don't need to push the bowl as hard. Ross will stay on his backhand here.
Just one, I think.
Holding just the one, I think, yeah. So here we go. So watch him on his backhand. Lovely line to the edge on, down to the oomph.
Not much wrong with it, that's for sure.
Oh. Oh, that was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Half
I
a
thought he
bowl
was just going to
wide.
slide off that and it would have been absolutely perfect. So a single for just one, wasn't it? Yep.
Ross Owen, yes.
Later on today we're going to have Annika Schippers of South Africa playing against Midori Matsuoka of Japan. And they are in section 3. And they're in there along with the two unbeaten team players, United States and England.
Be an interesting game. Bowl's very strong in South Africa. Nice bowl.
In women's section 2 of the women, I mentioned India unbeaten, having beaten the other undefeated team, Australia, this morning. Australia. Cook Islands and Hong Kong, China each have 3 wins from 5. Thailand and New Zealand have 2. Falkland Islands 1, and Cyprus yet to score. That's in section 2, but you can get all those results now through Bowls New Zealand Facebook.
And as a reminder, John, if you're wondering, well, how do people qualify for post-section? It is the top 3 players in each section upon the conclusion of section play. The top 3 qualify. And then there's a playoff game, and then, of course, on the finals day, it goes quarter-final, semi-final, and final. And we hope to be able to broadcast 4 rounds on that finals day. It'll be 2 quarter-finals and 2 finals. Really looking forward to that. Be a magnificent day of lawn bowls. We've ordered the nice weather. The Met surface is saying it's a 50-50 chance, so we'll wait and see.
It's been good so far. Oops, you hear that familiar sound of bowl hitting board. Someone's driving somewhere.
Usually means you found a gap.
Yeah.
Ross attacking this. Square as you could possibly get a bowl. That's beautiful. What a shot that was. Literally couldn't have played that any better if he'd tried, John.
Nope. Put it back there, Edmund. It's a better line.
He's done it. He's done it. Sort of. Second and third shot now for Edmund.
Yeah, he might go aggressive.
Percentages certainly there. Ross on the forehand. Needs it to get up a little bit. Well, it's good enough. It's probably good enough to be holding the second shot, John.
Change Edmund's mind. He may well have been considering having a rush at the shot bowl, and if he'd collected that, maybe settle for a couple himself, but I don't think he's got second shot now.
What's he got there? It's a
lump of cheese.
certainly not what the energy supplements look like in my bowling bag.
Could have been white chocolate.
No, it would have to be for me.
Ooh, Edmund giving himself a chance.
Very close.
Really good chance. Sit it. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I agree with you. Throws his head back in frustration.
Just the one to Ross Owen there, John. So the score now, 2 shots apiece. And we're on the 4th end of 7. Much tighter set than the first one.
Ross Owen continues to send the jack a fair way down, just short of the 2 metre mark. Gets his bright yellow bowl cupped in his hand, sends it down. And again, looks an accurate line. He's got this one sorted.
I've been very impressed with Ross Owen in this game, John. Very consistent. Certainly if he can qualify, be a contender for this title.
Very good too. Nice start there from Edmund. He's not doing much wrong there. He's just being outplayed. Sadly, that's a part of bowls, isn't it? That sometimes the opposition person plays a bit better. He'll be playing very good shots as the Singaporean is. He might get an advantage here with a wee flick of the jack back. No, it doesn't. So not even that's working for him. So there's 2 shots here. It did touch the jack.
Needs it to break back in. If it stops, it's handy, John. And it has done so. So again, a bit of aggression available to Edmund.
Pouncing after it. Watching that nice line that he's certainly picked up the line for this hand. Gets it around to match the bowl of his opponent. So still holding 2.
I think we're going to see aggression here.
Oh, on the forehand.
Got to be quicker than that on these greens.
Yeah.
So hard to pick. Wandering down there, looking at the head, thinking, oh, how do I get out of this one? It's got the backest bowl, so you can't see it on your screen. It's at about 5 o'clock near the ditch, so it makes sense to attack if you are Edmund. Need to be.
He might just be thinking, with my luck today, I'll take out my own, and rather than being 2 down, I'm 4. That's not a bad bowl, is it? Righto, what are your options now? If that bowl had been there with his previous shot, he would have hit it.
Would have been
probably.
fine. Look, there's now a target that's about 4 feet, 5 feet wide.
Yeah.
You'd be unlucky to find a gap there on the forehand, John, if you just look for the because it's on the forehand. He'll be thinking, I'll look to hit that yellow ball that sits at 2 o'clock and is low of the jack. And if I'm low, we should still be okay. But at least the weight he played with the last bowl, at a minimum, you would think.
Here we go. Last bowl.
Just missing on the wrong side there.
He did. That was all on for him.
Be disappointed with that.
Oh, gosh, yeah. It's a 3.
Maybe the end that Ross Owen needed. Edmund stayed very well with Ross in the set, but as we get to the pointy end 5, Ross has now gone 3 shots up. Be looking to extend that if he can score on this end, and then would back himself to defend that lead, John.
See some of the other games being played there, and walking into shot is the Fijian player. It's a men's match there. That's Munish Kumar.
Ross leading off on the forehand. He's oh well, I thought he was tight, but he might not be. I think these are a narrower set of bowls than what we've seen, John. Well, that wasn't a huge amount of green taken there by Ross, and look, it's finished wide of the jack. Hardly turned at all.
Here we come.
That's a lovely bowl from Edmund, battling away here at the Browns Bay Bowling Club.
Make the marker work, that's the story, Edmund.
So they are tailored bowls. We'll see maybe when this one comes to rest whether we can get a close-up of the bowl. John, sometimes they have what make they are if it falls the right way. It's just interesting that they've been holding on. And look at that. That's an outstanding shot. So there's the bowl. Well, that's helpful. I can see Taylor bowls are a size 3. We'll come back to that. We'll get there. But intriguing.
Just tightened his line up a little with the jack moving across from the centre line. Green will be good.
See, they're just right at the back.
Now looking to make it 2.
Oh, he's trailed it. Stuck with it as well.
Might be 3.
That's a very good bowl.
That's 2.
He's in fine form. May have the running, may not. This is the head as it
luck,
sits.
it won't. It'll go. Yeah, there we are. Just sit into the opposition's bowl. So, track was good.
It's a lovely 2 there that Ross does hold. Wonder if we can just get a slightly closer view on that overhead camera, see if we can read what type of bowl he has. To which the answer, John, is
no.
No.
Oh, there we go. Oh, gosh.
He's got a World Bowls Champion of Champions Singles Bowl, is what I can tell you.
Yeah.
Taylors anyway, and they look like they're taking a tighter line than anything we've seen. Needs the weight. He's got a round, but doesn't have the running. Still holding a nice 2 here. And Edmund with a bit of work to do. There's not much room at all between the shot bowl and the jack. You can't hit anything because you've got 3 short bowls at 12 o'clock. So for Edmund, it's just about trying to draw the shot on the forehand. The left of your screen. On the forehand.
Wow. He had such a perfect line with his last. Just fell out of weight. Hasn't got the same line this time, but he might get something out of this. No.
Oh,
He knocks
oh,
another
you
one
wouldn't.
up. You wouldn't. 3.
Oh,
2
dear.
it is. So after a fine start to this particular set, the second set, when he scored a 2, Edmund Lynn now trails by 7-2. With the jack in his hand now, this Ross Owen, who's playing very impressively, so consistent in everything he does. He has the jack, pushes it. It won't be a short one, we shouldn't think, because he's been managing those longish ends quite well. Yeah, right in the same zone. Doesn't deviate from that.
I can smell the lamb shanks, John.
Stop it. Yes, they're certainly on the menu for this evening here at the Browns Bay Bowling Club. So that should whet the appetite of a few locals to get down and enjoy it.
New Zealanders and the Welsh are certainly used to lamb as one of the meals that we have quite a lot, John.
Yeah.
Always preferred hogget myself, but that's okay.
Nothing wrong with that either. Absolutely everything right with that.
I don't think much of this new trend, John, that mint sauce has gone away from lamb dishes. You order or look at a lamb dish in a restaurant and they pair it with tomato-based sauce. Where is the mint? Bring back mint.
Bring back mint. That could be the call. Certainly it's never far from my table if I'm having lamb.
Vitally important ingredient.
So that was the first sort of really rough bowl that Edmund had bowled and sent down in a while. That one that's out to the right here.
He's played
yeah.
much nicer bowls in the
Yeah.
second set. Settled in. But does find himself 5 down on this end, and there's only 1 to go after this. So Edmund needs to score the next 2 ends if he wants to force a tie-break, and it'll be 2 threes that he requires. And I mean, you look at this head, it doesn't look super likely, does it? Probably have to play the back end if you want to score a 3.
Well, I was wondering that you've got that opportunity. Your only opportunity really is your bowl that's back on the left-hand side of the screen as we view it. There's one down here at about 6:30.
Oh, he'll be disappointed with that bowl. And Ross just able to settle down on his forehand there. Does this one make its way back into the head? That's a good shot. He's pre-chalked it.
Yeah. Actually, his bowls coming down have looked like they've got marks on them all the time, just a bit of debris attached to them, sort of dark splotches. Righto, Edmund. Get inside that last. Sit that. That'll do you. Sit it. Come on, come on. Sit it. Sit
Turn.
it. Yep. Yeah,
Good
nice
shot.
bowl.
Well played. Surely that's worth one to Edmund there. And it is. So the score now 3-7, and it's a insurmountable mountain to climb for Edmund, because the most he can score on one end is 4, which would draw the set, and you still wouldn't force the tie break. So this is just to try and get the differential down as much as possible when the count up happens, John.
Yeah.
Played well in the second set. He'll be pleased with that. He's been very competitive.
He's a heck of a nice bloke too. Well, they both are. Both quite comfortable just sitting there chatting before a game, which isn't always the case with many sports. Competitors want to be left alone, but both Edmund and Ross quite willing to relax, very relaxed before the game. So for the Welshman,
Can you see there anywhere, John, anything that tells us what sort of bowl it is? HAD 4603A, that doesn't sound like a bowl model.
No.
Taylor bowl, see, well, we know that. It's a size 3. Its date stamp is fine.
Yes.
It's a new bowl, actually, 2023. That would have been bought last year. But nowhere on that bowl does it tell us what it is. We think it's an SR, though, don't we, John?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he mentioned to me that I tend to ask them and then I write it down, or I don't write it down. And I'm sure he said SR. But it would be nice to be able to see it. Some of the bowls now you can hardly even tell, what
they are.
Sort of off-brand they are. You can see the main brand. It's a Henselite, and you look all over the place for something else, or it's a Taylor, or it's an Aero.
I don't think it's on the. I just don't think it's on the poles. It's interesting. A lot of the players will have had to change their bowls, of course, and we keep bleeding on about it. But we're 17, 18 second waterweed green here, and it's common in New Zealand. So our bowls, in general, we have a much narrower biased bowl than you would play with up in the northern hemisphere or on slower greens. Because if we tried to play with the bowls that they play with up there, you'd have to be aiming 2 or 3 ranks out for them to come back in. So it's less that they take, it's not that they take less green, it's that we're trying to emulate a similar idea. So you take one of our bowls up to the northern hemisphere, they just go straight, and it's really hard to control. So it's horses for courses, I suppose, and a lot of the players will have had to change their bowls coming here, John, or they'd find it almost impossible to play on. Edmund looking to finish this game with a bit of a flair. He's close here if he's got the weight. He could thread this needle, John.
Yep, that's a good bowl.
Very well played shot. Perfect line. Slightly overcooked, which hopefully is not the same as the lamb shanks.
Even though he's got this game in the bag, Owen is still trying to play impressive bowls.
I like that. You're trying to keep yourself focused. If you switch off, you never know. You never know if you can get it back again, John. And there's more games of bowls for Ross to play. Plenty of life left in this tournament too, so you want to try and stay switched on the entire time. Go the last bowl from Edmund Lynn.
Is he going to smack them?
I'm not sure.
No.
It's a good question.
As you say, going to thread it again. Oh, that's a nice
Oh,
break.
finally. Oh, no,
Oh,
still finds a way
He's
to
had-
miss the jack.
He's had not one break all day, has he? Several times he's gone close to, often with an edge like that, slipping it across to the jack, but it's never sat there for him. And so he still remains, I think, 2 down. The match is all over. These two will shake hands now, and it is another victory for the Welshman. It's Ross Owen from Mountain Ash, just out of Cardiff. He finishes with an outstanding bowl again. He's played plenty of outstanding draw shots, and he takes this match by 13-3. So Ross Owen of Wales continues. That is his 4th victory of the event, and he's certainly giving himself every chance of qualifying for post-section play. Ross Owen of Wales beats Edmund Ling of Singapore in this men's match at the World Bowls Champion of Champions Singles. Some highlights from this match, and we'll be back with our 3rd game of the day after that.